Hey gang, it's me. Today I want to talk to you about Naledi Pandor as government administration under Ramaphosa, which went to court to fight for a right to give 50 million rands to a foreign country as a donation. These people are ruthless. These people are wicked. These people don't care about you. Listen to this.
Through her counsel, DIRCO Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor argued that by granting the interdict against government, the court overlooked the rule of separation of powers. She also argued that the 50 million rand donation to Cuba was lawfully retained and could be allocated to another country. They also argued that another court could come to a different decision, as there had not been any imminent harm or ongoing harm made by the decision to donate the money to Cuba.
The court's failure to apply the settled test, in our view, in granting the interim interdict, especially in the exercise of constitutional or statutory powers, also constitutes a compelling reason why the application should be granted to the SCA.
R50M argued that the initial interim order made by the court was not appealable and that the 50 million rand donation could be put to good use to the benefit of locals. It also argued that the court didn't overlook the separation of powers, but was implementing its mandate of upholding the Constitution, which applied to both the judiciary and the executive.
We submitted the order is not appealable. It's truly interim in nature. The court order only halts this one singular transaction. All other business of this fund is unaffected, and therefore it doesn't have a final effect in that sense. And it's also not in the interest of justice to hear any appeal.
The court agreed with R50M that the interim order was not appealable.
The order of 22 March 2022 is an interim order and therefore on its face not appealable. I am also not of the view that there is either any other compelling reason per section 17A2 or that it is in the interest of justice to grant leave to appeal. I am of the view that it is in the interest of justice to refuse leave to appeal given the issues.
Did you hear that? In a country that is the third highest in the entire world in terms of crime rate, they are wondering in their small heads, what could be the reason why we have such a crime rate if they care about it at all? Well, let me tell you, you have 42% unemployment rate, of which 50% of that 42% is youth. That means you easily have more than 12 million youth unemployed in this country. Now, youth, that means young people from 15 years old all the way to 35. These people's blood is boiling in their veins. They want to be kept busy. They want to be active. They want to do something with their lives. There are different categories. Others have passed matric. Others have not passed matric. Others have got degrees. These are what I call useless degrees, okay? That these universities offer just to make a buck. And government is doing absolutely nothing to intervene there, right? Okay, so this youth is sitting and idling and doing nothing. Whilst government could be taking that 50 million and whatever funds at its disposal to repurpose the skills of this youth to ensure that they are either employable or they are able to start their own entrepreneurship. Give them woodworking skills, give them bricklaying skills, give them metalworking skills, give them electrician skills, depending on obviously their ability to assimilate knowledge. Look at the certificates which they have, give them those skills accordingly, create a program that will enable these people to have N4s, N5s, N6, and they will be able to be electricians, they will be able to be bricklayers, and be able to be plumbers. Give them those skills so that they'll be able to make something that will bring food on their table. Rather than taking money to a foreign country, recognize your reality. You are in a country wherein a lot of youth is unemployed. And what are you doing about it? And I'm talking about medium-term to long-term investment in youth's ability to be able to put bread on the table. Not this nonsense of giving people 350 rands and so that they depend on welfare and keep voting for you people. Can you see that? These people are wicked. They are going to court to fight for a right. Remember, the court has already given a judgment that they are disallowed from giving that donation to Cuba. And you know what they are fighting for now? They are coming to the same court to say, no, give us a right to appeal your decision to the Supreme Court of Appeals because we believe they will give us a contrary decision. Of all political parties, the AfriForum is the one fighting for this. Not the economic freedom fighters. No. The AfriForum. Not all these people who are claiming to be fighting for the poor's rights, not the comrades who are jumping up and down, right? The AfriForum is fighting for this. You clearly cannot miss the nobility of this action by AfriForum. And by the way, they've won this case. And the African National Congress wants to appeal it. What does it mean to appeal a case? First and foremost, for a court session to sit, it costs money. As a person who once litigated before, depending on the people who are presenting on your behalf, in this case, these are advocates. What does that mean? It means they cost anything between 20 to 30 grand a day for appearing in court. Yes, that is true. Now, that being the case, the African National Congress, let's say this matter was set for 5 days, and then the court remanded its decision, and then they delivered it whenever. That means the government would have parted ways here with anything between 150 to 200,000 rands just for the first hearing to materialize. And then they lost the case. Now they want to spend another 200,000 so that they can give 50 million to Cuba. In a country that is ridden by crime, instead of solving crime by coming up with strategic interventions, such as the ones that I've mentioned, to ensure you create what we call skills in the youth, so that even when you bring the investors, when investors come in, they can find people who have the skill. Okay? Not people who are always going to be begging and always be waiting, but they have no skill at their disposal. And you need to repurpose those degrees that are useless, that are not causing people to get employment. There's no use for the employers in the private sector to keep. Did I say there's no use? No, there is a use. But the point is this: I wanted to say there's no use for the universities to keep giving degrees that the private sector does not want. The universities need to ensure that whatever degree they are giving, there is somebody to employ the people, and the universities have research departments. So government can simply tell them that you must desist from offering degrees for which you know there is no market in the public domain. University should not necessarily be something that everybody in South Africa wants to do. It doesn't make sense. Focus on the FETs, focus on the colleges. We have a shortage of teachers, for an example. Okay, I just wanted to expose that, guys. The African National Congress, Miss English herself, has taken has taken to court because she wants to give a donation of 50 million. How many other such donations are they giving without our knowledge? We have to thank the AfriForum for bringing this to the public domain. How many other such donations? Just a few weeks ago, I saw an email that says government is not employing because they don't have money, but they do have money to go and give 50 million to let me show you the email that I saw. Let me show you the email. Check this out. National Treasury. You see that? Okay. So National Treasury, this is written by Dear Mrs. I don't know who wrote this. We'll see it right at the bottom. But it says inquiries should go to Mampo Modise. Dear Mrs. MS, Dear Miss Kutsier, cost containment measures to assist national departments, public entities, and provinces to close fiscal gap. Do you see that? Cost containment, meaning they are struggling to make ends meet. That is why they must contain cost. But they are fighting in a different court to give a donation of 50 million. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm laughing because you don't need a degree to see that this is folly. Okay? You really don't need a degree to see that this is foolishness in high visible echelons of management in our administration. Now, listen, look at this. As it's 15th August 2023, cabinet noted. Cabinet, and Naledi Pandor is part of this cabinet, noted that the economic growth outlook has worsened significantly relative to expectations outlined in the 2023 budget. Given the impact, Okay, I need to read that slowly. I apologize for that. I do have a tendency of reading things fast. Given the impact of more intense load shedding and freight and port logistical constraints, amongst other factors. In addition, the fiscal outlook was negatively affected by higher than anticipated wage settlement. I'm going to read this without necessarily saying I agree or disagree with what it says, okay? In briefings to Cabinet, the Ministers' Committee on Budget, that's the abbreviation for that ministry, or rather committee, the Forum of South African Directors General and Budget Council, the National Treasury, outlined how low economic growth has resulted in deteriorating revenue collection and funding conditions since tabling the 2023 budget. To date, tax revenue under collection has worsened, already resulting in lower projections of the revenue estimated for 2023-24. Funding performance through the debt Funding performance through the debt markets has also been poorer than anticipated over the past few months. As a result, we face unprecedented challenges for the current 2023-24 financial year, even as we hope conditions will improve over the medium term once the underlying factors like load shedding and logistical constraints are addressed. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to jump all of that and take you to their conclusion. So what is their conclusion of the matter? In the meantime, I'm reading the last sentence there of that paragraph on your screen. In the meantime, heads of national departments should implement the following cost containment measures: freezing the hiring of new employees, except if an employment offer has been made or approved by National Treasury together with National Department of Public Service Administration, after consideration the submission of the relevant head of department that is a critical post. Freeze the process of advertising new procurement contracts for all infrastructure projects unless otherwise approved by National Treasury. Drastically reduce spending on travel by freezing all non-essential travel unless wholly or partially funded by non-governmental resources such as multilateral institutions or donor agencies. Right? Freeze the spending on catering conferences, workshops, and related goods and services that have not yet been contracted. Ensure that recommendations from spending reviews are fully implemented by 31st March. Okay, now I'm not going to read all of this. It's written by and signed off by Ishmael Momoniat, Acting Director General of Treasury. The point to this is, with what I've just read in view, why would Naledi Pandor, or rather let me put it this way, Cyril Ramaphosa's administration, anybody in Cyril Ramaphosa's administration, go to court so that they can give donation of 50 million to a foreign country whilst they are having that crisis? Why? How is this different from Joe Biden giving billions to Ukraine whilst he only gave $700 per family in Maui? What's going on here? What's going on? Because both Joe Biden and Ramaphosa are globalists. What's going on here? Why would you want to take funds out of a shrinking economy and go give donations whilst people are left poor in this country? Okay, I'll leave the other conclusions to yourself. I just thought that I should expose that to the public. This is nothing short of an uncaring government. That is why you ought not to listen to them when they come wearing green, yellow, and black, telling you that their blood is green, yellow, and black. Okay? You should ignore all such nonsense when they come and tell you how they're going to deliver, how they have delivered. All the lies Ramaphosa has been going around telling. Now, of course, they are telling these lies because they know, as Goebbels, Hitler's propagandist, once said, you tell a lie long enough, people will believe it. That's their modus operandi. They go around telling people that they've delivered this, they've delivered. There are potholes everywhere. Youth is unemployed. Crime is shooting through the roof. More than 80 women are raped every day. Police do not have vehicles that are in a functional state. They are completely unfunded. They don't have resources, both human and the equipment required to perform their work. You can even see in Senzo Meyiwa's trial right now as we speak that police are highly under-resourced. And whilst police are under-resourced, that encourages corruption, bribery, hence crime is so high. Okay, now I'm not justifying crime here. I'm simply saying to you, in a country run the way, because even this donation, what is this donation all about? How is that donation itself not a crime against the poor in our country? Okay, guys, let me love you and leave you at this particular juncture. You tell me what you think. You think that this is justified? Do not forget to like the video. You clicking on like the video, it encourages YouTube to send it to as many people as possible. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Let's grow the channel. I've established this channel because we have a country to save from these thieves who call themselves leaders, but they are misleaders. Ciao, ciao.